Hey, hello. Chodesh and good week. Hashem, Hashem, we have gone through Sichos Haran, and Mezat Hashem, we will start tonight with actually resuming learning that we used to have quite some time ago, which is the Eitzos Amvoros, means the annotated advice. Originally, Likutei Eitzos is a compilation of summaries that Nosson wrote of the entire Likutei Maran that is Negea Lemaisa. It's concise. It means what it is, where you're supposed to carry it. Eitzos Amavoros, the annotated advice, or the is the Likutei Eitzos and the narrow, concise summaries is opened up a little bit into coherent shmooze about basically all the different inyonim which a yid needs to pay attention to and put into his life, Be'ezrat Hashem. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will start where we finished the last time. We'll get to it. Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll talk. So this, first of all, we'll talk about the Sichas Sipurey Baal Shem. We'll talk about it, and what we have here is once a person asked about Shem Tov, and he told him, "What if I said a few of the words in Kriyat Shema without thinking about it, without meaning it? Can I say it again and say it with meaning what I'm saying?" So the Baal Shem Tov told him as follows: there is no such thing that won't have in it the mitzias of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Even a foreign thought, even a thought which is extraneous, there is a holy sparks in it. And if a person says a few words of the Tefila without meaning, that particular thought is coming to a person in order to extricate from it those foreign, those sparks of kedusha that got lost in it. So, if a person says it once again, he means that the first time that he said it had no mitzias of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in it. And so he's like, as if it's belittling the machshava, belittling the mitzias, of Hashem Baruch. That's why a person should not say it twice. Just think in your mind those words that you said without thinking, without meaning what you said. Just repeat it in your mind, but don't say it once again. He says that Baal Shem Tov Yishma. He says that a person needs to be medactic, to be very particular, be very careful, to say Kriyat Shema twice a day. They say it without any foreign thoughts, with any residual thoughts. It's a very, very great thing. Because anybody will say Kriyat Shema properly, all the mazikim in the world, all the avenging angels in the world, cannot hurt him, not physically and not emotionally. I just saw on Shalashudis, I was sitting, I'm reading from the words of Rav Yaakov Shechter Shlita. And somebody said to him, you know, he told him, listen, I'm not really paying full attention and giving the due attention to Kriyat Shema on the bed before I go to sleep. So Rabbi Yechemia told him that he has a Kabbalah that the way that the person says Kriyat Shema before falling asleep, that's the way will be his last Kriyat Shema before he leaves this world. And I found it rather a wake-up call. Like, whoa, where am I in this world? Every single word we say, especially when Kriyat Shema or everything that we say like that, how much is invested in it. Every single movement. The Ben said that if a Yid moves his hand like this, then 1,000 universes go like that. If he goes like this, then 1,000 universes go like that. If we were to take seriously and pay attention, appreciate the value of what it is that we do, for good and the opposite, our life would look totally different. So much of our lives is I mean, the things that give us the bad feelings about ourselves and things is a result of not appreciating the value of our time and our deeds and our effort, both for good and chas v'chalila lehefech. Oh, it's a big thing. Especially when it comes to Kriyat Shema, especially when it comes to davening. It seems to us, in the hypnotic trance that we are in this world, that let me just, finish it off. I don't have patience with this part. But if we knew that everything that we're talking about is so crucial and it's so momentous, how much attention would we give, would we give to this? So the answer is the main thing that we need to concentrate on is believing what we believe in. The more we believe in it, I mean, everybody believes that, that Kriyat Shema has a tremendous value and everything we do has tremendous value and blah, 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 blah. We can talk the talk the cows come. But the main thing is that we should ask Kadosh Baruch Hu to merit to believe, really believe that which we believe in. We all believe in that in general terms, but the more intensely we believe in it, the more vitality we get out of what we do, the more careful we are to stay away things that we shouldn't do, and so forth and so on. So much that Shem Yazon, B'schut about Shem HaKadosh, I think that in his Yotzes Shavuos, should coming right up, so Schusset again Aleinu, to Kol Tov. And today, we'll restart the share of the annotated advice. And we are holding by the advice number 2 under the general topic of eating, kilo. And he says as follows: it is through giving tzedakah to true tzaddikim and to elderly poor people that giving of tzedakah creates a movement, a spiritual movement in the world that brings about both gerim, converts, and Balei Tshuva. People of Balei Tshuva, in other words, both, people who are on the outside, they are awakened to understand exactly what the truth is, and they leave, their false belief, and they convert to become Jewish. And as well as Jews who are far from Yiddishkeit, they awaken, they come close, to fearing Hashem and to become determined. In other words, they make tshuva. And when that happens, in other words, give tzedakah to tzaddikim amitim or to elecha, poor people, it brings about a ruach of tshuva in the world that affects both, the Gentiles and the Jews, and brings them to the truth. And that fixes and rectifies the eating that was not done, the way it should have been done. Either eating foods that were not 100%, or not eating with the kavanah to use the koyach, to the Kadosh Baruch Hu with it. And it is through the giving, so that's the one thing. Now, the thing is that I'm sorry, it's really meaningful, is because eating is the final, sifting and of the bureau of the food and all the holy sparks that exists in all the foodstuffs basically, get separated, the holiness from, the grain from the chaff, as it were, and the holy from the opposite, and it brings it up, elevated, brings it to the tikkun for which it was created. Biru, the sifting between things that when the good and bad are mixed up together, and you extricate the good from the bad, you elevate the good and the bad falls off. That's the reason why the world was created. When you give tzedakah to tzaddikim amitim and to eleche proper people that are straight and honest and eleche people, and this is a big schus in order to create a movement of sifting and extricating the Nikuda Kedusha Psi in the Gentiles and in Jews, and bringing them to the truth, and the lie falls off. That rectifies the ultimate personal rectification, where the achila there wasn't the way it's supposed to be, rachas wasn't supposed to be, food maybe wasn't so much, the kavanah of eating wasn't for Shem Shemam or whatever, it rectifies. And he says, and not only this, but through giving tzedakah to tzaddikim and elochem people, it rectifies your seichel. It fixes up certain mental faculties. And with this, you are able to receive an amazing realization. Now you're zecher to understand and comprehend the light of the tzaddik. In other words, the real das amiti, or the tzaddik amiti. And you're zecher to accept from the tzaddik amiti, because of that, you can accept only the yiro and the ahava. Yiras Hashem and ahavas Hashem. And all these tikkunim, in other words, eating the way it's supposed to, understanding the das of the tzaddik, fairness, all this, a person can be zocher by giving tzedakah properly, not for honor or just because Kadosh Baruch Hu has ordered me to do it. Now, everybody needs to understand from this, obviously, that the tremendous value of giving tzedakah. But what should I do? I'm stingy. I don't want to give tzedakah at all, or I want to give, I really don't want to give, so I feel guilty for not giving, or a person can feel happy that he is in shul and he has no money in his pocket because there are people collecting money, and I always feel guilty. Why don't I give him money? Did I give enough? Did I not give enough? Whatever it is. If I don't have any money in my pocket, I don't have any of these things don't, I don't have any self-recrimination involved. The point is, the union of giving tzedakah always means giving a little bit more than you actually want. It doesn't matter you want to give half a shekel and you give a shekel. It's very good. That's a void of tzedakah. Because giving tzedakah when you're naturally generous and your heart is open and your pocket is open, that's not the avoid of tzedakah. It's tzedakah, yes. That's not the avoid. It's not the avoid. It's a Shem of tzedakah. Avoid the same of tzedakah means you're breaking your natural tendency to say him, forget about him. Or I'd like to give to this one, but this one I don't like him. I don't know. It doesn't smell so good. I won't give him. And give him dafka. Break your nature and do the opposite. That's the avoid of tzedakah. But either way is good to do. Shem Yisbach should be zakias. A tremendous Chag Shavuos, the Kabbalah Satorah, and the Mikvah of Shara Chamishim, and all the amazing things that are entailed in this. There's one thing that we need to understand. We have Parshas Bamidbar. Today, this is what we read. And you see that the Midbar, Parshas Bamidbar is the Parsha that we that we learn whenever these Kabbalah Satorah. The wilderness represents the place of the unclean, the chitzoni, and it shows it is the place that distracts a person with all kinds of confusions and false ideas, false ideologies, and and urges and vices and so forth and so on. You need to understand it's dafka in the midbar, dafka from the wilderness that Kabbalah Satorah can occur. There's no way to receive and accept the Torah without going through the wilderness. If you notice, we're always going through a process of where we get close and suddenly become all confused and all lost. And then we get closer and then we get all confused and all lost. Then the Kodesh should always be to understand that you should always have this equilibrium of knowing what to do when you're all confused. Just wait it out. Hold on. And when you're holding on to it, this is where the Torah comes in. This is how you receive the Torah. You don't receive the Torah, eating caviar in a Cadillac. Receiving the Torah is b'midbar. You have to work, so don't be all confused by your confusion. Don't be all who knows what by so you have these horrible thoughts in your mind and temptations, or you keep on doing the things that you know you shouldn't do, but you keep on doing because you're bored or whatever. That's the way to Kabbalah Satorah. You fight it and you stay with it and you get out and you see it too. That's the way to do it. HaKadosh should help us out to Shem. Tonight for Yom Tov, obviously Rosh Chodesh Sivan today. And then I should have a good Chodesh and a good week and a good Yom Tov. And B'ezrat Hashem, just Kedusha, Tahara, Simcha, and Yeshua Shlem, B'ezrat Hashem soon in our days, B'ezrat Hashem.